What's the deal, everybody? Welcome back to the studio. I'm Jeremy Deal, and today we're going to be talking about Photoshop's new AI generative fill feature. I'm sure by now you've seen tons of these videos hit the market, or I guess YouTube. I honestly didn't want to do one, but a lot of you have a lot of questions, so I'm going to try my best to answer a few things that a lot of other channels seem to be leaving out. Number one. This is still in the beta version, so in order to use it, you have to download Photoshop Beta. I thought no big deal, but it's actually become kind of a huge hassle to my workflow because Photoshop Beta becomes the automatic go-to open from Lightroom once it's installed for some reason, even though there's no option to change that around. So unless you already have the regular Photoshop open and you're used to a workflow moving things from Lightroom to Photoshop and back through its software, then just having Photoshop Beta on your computer is going to be a pain in your butt. Just remember to always open up Photoshop first if you don't want to have this problem. That being said, a willing price to pay for something as incredible and game-changing as everyone tells me. Keep in mind, I've made videos on AI before. You can check that out over here. Actually, over here probably. And I really like this idea. Yes, I understand the artist's views behind it, and I'm not here to debate whether it's right or wrong or whether we should or should not be using it. I'm just here to talk about what's already available and being used by everyone else. Now, on to our second feature that no one seems to really talk about, and that's you're not allowed to use generative fill for commercial work. It states so clearly when you download Photoshop Beta. So technically, you cannot use this feature for real estate work. Don't believe me? Here it is straight from Adobe. If you want to get down to it technically, I can't even show you examples I make with generative fill because I make money from ad revenue and therefore it's a commercial application. Just something to think about here. Does that mean in the future you'll not be able to use it? Not at all. I'm sure that's coming, but there's one big caveat. The reason I believe Adobe has released this early and in a beta format is so that way people can get used to it, like really used to it. They want people to get so used to it that when they drop that price increase on your bill for using it, you can't say no. If you don't think they're going to start charging for this service and charging you extra for this service if you're using it for commercial applications like us real estate photographers, then you're sadly mistaken. If you think you're going to be able to virtually stage a room using Adobe stock and not pay them for it, again, mistaken. Everyone knows how much Adobe loves their money and how they want to take it from you every single month and as much as possible. Don't be surprised if this generative fill becomes a feature only available for people who are paying the highest Adobe subscription, because they lost a ton of people paying for Premiere Pro and After Effects to DaVinci. Also, don't get surprised if it's a per use charge or tax extra over that for commercial applications like we'll be using it for. Lastly, the thing I want to hit on is that it actually sucks. I use a ton of other AI programs, whether that be ChatGPT, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, the list goes on. Adobe's integration of AI right now is really bad. Can you get it to work? Yeah, but I tried to remove a car out of a garage and for 15 minutes straight, all it did was give me new car options to replace that one with. And none of them were good cars either. A bunch of old Civics. I see a lot of examples being shown right now of how easy the process is. But as someone who's tried it multiple times, it's not as easy as they make it seem. And unless you're doing some basic extra to-do work, wording your request properly and fixing the parts it got wrong, it's not going to be that easy. And if you want to know how to go about fixing those issues that will inevitably come up, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. All that jazz, you know the spiel. Use my affiliate links, please, and shop some of the personal art from those links down below. Now, back to the AI rant. As I'm sure time goes on, bugs get fixed, and it will work better and better. As time goes on, they'll open it up for commercial contractors like ourselves to use on a professional basis. Professional basis. One day it may even replace our need for digital editors altogether, and Photoshop will be able to convert our images to Twilight's Forest instantly with the click of a button. But until then, it's just a tool, and not much of a tool, because you can't use it professionally, so it's a toy. It's a toy that Photoshop released to get some buzz around, but it's still nowhere close to being able to replace anyone on my team. I don't want to sound too much like a Debbie Downer about it all, because I'm sure eventually this tool will be a great help to me and everyone who watches these videos. I think it's super important we keep trying these innovations that are out there and trying to streamline our professional process and workflows to match this ever-changing market prices and our services. My biggest issue with all this is that it just puts a higher burden on us as the creators from the agents we work with. Now car removal will become something they expect for free on every house. Why make your homeowner move the car when you can just use generative fill to get rid of it? And why should I pay you any more to do that service? I know you're getting it for free from Photoshop. I've seen all the cool stuff online. It just makes the job we do look less important. And it gives our clients just another thing to expect us to do without an additional charge. But what do you think of the generative fill? Have you used it yet? Are you sneakily using it for commercial purposes even though you're not supposed to? Comment down below, let me know what you think. Am I totally wrong? Sometimes I am. As always, keep rocking and rolling, enjoy what you're doing, make smart business decisions, and don't be afraid to try new things even if you don't think you'll like them yet. Catch you next time. Ooh. Yeah, that was a big one.